All right, y'all. Today I'm trying to tackle putting a sound system in the Camaro over here. And just now getting started, trying to kind of show you the parts I've got together. We got some cheap aftermarket speakers. Links to most of this stuff will be in the description down below. Some of this stuff I already had, like this subwoofer, something I already had that's used. This wiring kit I bought a long time ago. Got an Alpine head unit. Got some Bluetooth. Does not have the CD player on it. It's just Bluetooth and auxiliary and radio. Kind of one of the cheaper Alpine units. It had good reviews, so I went with it. I didn't want any of those units that you have to like download an app on your phone to change the equalizer. And I believe this is not that way. You can do everything on the head unit. So got a little plastic bezel. Metra part number 99-3042. Got a box over here. This is something I actually picked up at a yard sale, but it fits that subwoofer, so we're going to use it. Got a little bit of sound deadening left over from another project I'm going to throw behind the 6x9s just to try to keep the A-pillars from vibrating or whatever. Also got these little connectors for... It's like an adapter for the speakers, so you can plug into the factory wiring. For all I know, the way that the wiring is on this car, it's been all hacked up. I'll get into it and find out somebody's already hacked the connectors off, but they were cheap enough. I went ahead and ordered them. But you can see this is how it was when I got the car. It has no radio, just has all the factory wiring's been cut into, which is a shame. So I don't know the condition of my speakers. That's why I kind of went ahead and just bought some. I assumed they were kind of tired. Look at this dash, guys. I bought this car, it had been sitting, this dashboard was immaculate when I got it, and then we got some like several days of in the teens temperatures, and I got spiderweb cracks everywhere. This dash was good just, you know, several months ago. So when it decides to go, it decides to go. I reckon I'm gonna have to get one of those covers. Well, anyway, I'm gonna get started on the head unit first. I've already disconnected the battery. Doing a couple other things to tidy up the carburetor install. I had to run a vacuum hose, manifold vacuum, which is right there on the carburetor. I had to run it over here to this thing, and now I can deflect my air to the vents instead of it being on defrost all the time. So I got that working. Right now I'm fixing fuel leaks on the fuel pressure regulator. I had to pull this off, and I got some fuel resistant RTV. I'll show you what that is. Moto Seal gasket maker. It's Permatex brand. It says fuel resistant. So we're going to hope that that's accurate. I'm just letting this cure while I'm working on the head unit. So like I said, I got the battery disconnected. I'm going to start butt connecting some the wiring harness for the Alpine. All right, looks like the first step is I need to get this this plate off. I don't know if I can just take this off by itself or I need to take more things off. I'll just get into it and see. Found out that the Torx bit is a T15 that fits these pretty good. All right, so my bezel only had the 2 right screws in it. There was no screw in that hole, and that one's just a dummy hole. So this came off real easy. Looks like somebody has riveted a little piece of aluminum that they hacked together in here to kind of hold the whatever old head unit they had in here. You know, I guess they didn't know they needed the $12 Metra plastic kit, but this should be easy to remove. Looks like they didn't really damage the original housing, so I can just rivet these off, or drill them out. I mean, they're riveted on there, so easy peasy. Yep, those rivets drilled out real quick and everything looks good. So time to do some wiring, I reckon. All right, I can already tell y'all, if y'all are doing this job, y'all need one of these in your life. Check this out. I can do this with one hand, stripping these wires. Stripped. Got this at a tool outlet in Pigeon Forge. I know there's probably different brands out there, but I think I paid like 12 bucks or something for this. Totally worth it. Alrighty, moving on. So what I got going on right here is I've got the wiring diagram I got off of the 3rd Gen forum online, and I'm comparing that with the wiring diagram of the radio, and I'm just matching colors up. So like it says, you know, 12 volt constant is orange on the actual car. I go over here and it says battery, which is 12 volt constant, is yellow. So I do orange to yellow. And so it's a lot of trying to get your colors right in your head. But anyway, we're getting it. Alright, so I got the power wire routed. What I did was I dropped it over here where I saw some other wires going, and you can see it behind the fender chilling down there. I took this little kick plate off, and I could see there was a big opening there, but that hole that the wire's running through was not there. I had to drill that with a step bit, and I got a little plastic bushing in there to keep that wire from rubbing up on metal. And then I run it underneath this kick plate, tucked it up under here. I didn't remove this panel, but I tucked it up under here. Kind of see it right there running up. I'll tidy that up a little bit more. Got it going behind the latch and power wire. So I'm thinking the way I'm gonna attach it to the battery is just attach a top post to it, since my battery has top and side posts on it, and maybe put a little bit of insulation on the top of that, so if I hit a bump or something, the battery doesn't jump and arc out on the hood. So I'll figure that out. But I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, I've got a fuse. That's important. Have your fuse as close to the battery connection as possible. So anyway, making progress. All right, so I ran my remote and RCA cables up under this little panel here. You have to take it out. It's got 2 Phillips head screws, one over there, one over there. Ran the wires, you know, kind of strung it up with the zip ties. Ran it over here behind the kick panel, down here, and it comes out right here, running all the way to the back of the car. Went ahead and connected my remote wire and my power wire on this end. Got to get this ground wire, find a place for it. I checked the internet. They said behind this little cover for your spare tire. It seems to be a good spot, so I'm gonna pop that off real quick. All right, so here's the Metro kit, and I had to cut a couple tabs off here. There's some tabs that really stick up and out. There's one right here and one on the other side, and you got to cut those off. Apparently this kit also works with Saturns, and the Saturns use those tabs, but the Camaros use these two, and they screw in on those two and those two. So I just took the hacksaw to it, just the manual hacksaw, and it only took less than 10 strokes, cut through it real quick. So I'm gonna mock up the head unit. All right, we're gonna have to cut off these 2 tabs as well. I was missing some screws to mount this thing, so I've got some self tappers that came from this kit on Amazon, working perfect. So now that I got those tabs cut off, that thing works or fits fine. All right, y'all, it's getting dark on me, but I got this thing working. I got it paired to my phone, Bluetooth, and I haven't replaced the speakers yet, but the subwoofer's working is kind of what I was testing, and making sure the head unit was also working. So let's give it a little test. So from what I can tell, the speakers are in halfway decent shape. Probably not original. bass cranked really, but seems to be doing well. All right, y'all, so I just removed this speaker from the pillar here, and so these have been replaced in the past. Decent looking speaker, and they functioned, but they are getting a little crispy. So since I've already got some new speakers, I'm gonna go ahead and throw them on there. It was missing a screw, but then I just pulled the speaker out and the screw was stuck to the back of the magnet on the speaker. So now I've got all 4 screws. It's pretty neat. Doesn't usually work out like that, but those little connectors I bought look like they're not going to be much of use since somebody's already cut it into the factory wiring. So probably going to return those moving forward. Oh, I got this stuff kind of situated. I think that's going to be kind of the home for it. I tried sticking some Velcro on the amplifier on the bottom side of it to keep it from slipping around, but the Velcro didn't want to stick to this carpet. Not sure why, but anyway, let me get these speakers put in. All right, so here's an example of something you don't want to do. As you can see, those 2 female spade connectors there are the same size. Now one of them's been kind of crimped extra hard, but they're same size. And then these speakers they had in there, the negative spade is smaller. So what you don't want to do is that you don't want a loose ground connection, be running down the road and your speakers cutting in and out, make you pull your hair out. So what I did on this side already is I took the little wires that I bought that were adapters, you know, and I cut the end off of it that was supposed to just plug and play, just because I needed an extension. I crimped on a couple of spades, male spades, that would fit that. Go ahead and slide that in there, and then the other side had the smaller for the ground and the larger for the positive, so everything fits nice and snug. And I've got a little bit of more room to work because the cable's longer. As you can see, that is just barely sticking up there. And right here's what I'm talking about. I got 2 of these spades that'll plug into what the previous owner had going in over there, and these have a big and small spade, so that'll fit tight and snug on the new speaker, and we won't have intermittent, you know, ground or power issues. So all right, y'all, update to the Camaro sound system video. It's been about a week, and today I'm swapping out the speakers. Nothing wrong with the speakers I'd put in here. I thought there was, though. There was a loud buzzing, glitching sound. Sounded awful after a little bit of time. It got worse the more volume you put through it. I thought the speakers were bad. I opened it up, put the new speakers in, same issue. Thought about it for a second. There was some auxiliary wiring in here that I had just ignored, and it was still tied into the factory wiring. Anyway, I disconnected that and my problem went away. So one thing I do want to recommend, though, is these things. These are the ones I put in there, the Blaupunkt, and they were hitting the insulation in there. They were a little bit too deep, so I probably wouldn't recommend those. What I ended up with is these Kenwoods for the sail panels, KFC 6966S, and they fit fine. They were a little bit shallower than these. Still not too expensive. They're just a little bit more money. And now I have the dash out, or the cover, and I'm replacing the factory speakers with some Kenwoods. Part number on these, KFC 4675C, and these are much shallower than the other ones I bought, so they should fit. They're actually shallower than the factory ones. I'll show you a factory one side by side. Here's a factory speaker, and then here's that speaker, a little bit shallower, so should fit. I got my little adapters from the last clip So I'm gonna install these real quick, and sound system should be done. Put a pin in it, you know what I'm saying? Or put a fork in it, I think's the saying. All right, y'all, got these speakers in, they all fit good. Just did a sound test, sounds great. The only complaint I have with the head unit is it seems to have a hard time pairing to my phone initially. It takes like 30 seconds for it to get a good connection, I guess. It like will connect and play music, but it'll play a second of music, pause for a second of music, play a second. It does that for like 30 seconds until it finally figures it out. So that's why I got it kind of connected with a USB. Seems to do a little bit better. So seems kind of silly of an issue to be having on a brand new Alpine, but whatever. So I think that's going to do it for this video. Everything's going well. Subwoofer's working well. All I got to do is get the dash pad back on, put some screws in it, and she'll be good to go. All right, y'all, appreciate y'all watching. Have a blessed day.